look is on point, you know?
I don't like the look, and fortunately, my roofer was able to come up with a skylight with a built-in solar shade, save my marriage.
I love it.
Because otherwise, I was going to have to put in a barn door. And
look, I'm not putting in a solar shade and a skylight in the bathroom because I'm not really interested in having that be a part of our regular routine. So just saying.
What don't you like about barn doors? Just out of curiosity.
Just not
loud.
Just actually. Yeah, not my favorite.
Not your forte. What if it's a normal door on a slider?
No, don't like the
slide. It's just the whole, it's the that's what I'm trying to find out. Is it the slide thing that gets you?
It's look at me. I mean, I'm like vanilla. I'm vanilla through and through. I'm not going to have style or flash ever. It's just not going to happen.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brad.
Point the camera down a little bit, Steve. Point your camera down a little bit. Yeah, that's a little more. That's good. So you're centered a little more.
I'm on a base here.
Okay. Well, if not, don't worry about it. Okay.
This might take
Greg, I have fungal cultures on my wall. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you do have fungal cultures.
I mean, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Hey, it seems like you're a fun guy.
Right, yeah. And I hate mushrooms.
I love Dad.
I'm a big mushroom guy.
Brad, what is the two things that are behind you, Brad?
Looks like baseball bats.
Louisville Slugger bats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was from my time in my past life with Penske. They sent me away twice with bats. Chased me out of the building with bats.
He's a slugger, babe.
They're nice bats, man. They're nice.
Yeah. They've got. You ought to read what's on them. There's nothing flattering, nothing nice written on those bats.
Are those metal or?
Got it, yeah, an engraved slugger right over next to me, actually, just in case I need it.
No, they're the wood 125s. I mean, they spent a few extra dollars to buy the nice ones for me. But
I still have the one that Bob got me. You got me years ago with my name in it that I used to have in my bedroom, and so I keep that by my bed in case any intruders come in. They'll know who they are.
That's what we do.
Will be reversed. Is that how it is? It's like the indenting. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brought to you by Greg.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. All right. So we'll just keep up to date with everything. So, you ready, guys? Lee, you ready?
Yes,
I'm ready. Let's roll it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Coming to you. Here we go. For those of you who've been watching our pre-show banter, stick around for the end of the show banter too. Let me take a swig of some. This is a LaCroix.
I wish you guys had bigger mugs. I feel really sad for you.
This is it's not big enough for you. No, you're just kidding, right?
See where I come from. This is coffee because not only have I had 4 listing shoots today, I have 6 projects to edit, so I'll be up well into the evening.
That's amazing.
Anybody see this? This is the world's smallest violin.
Yeah, that's my abuser as well. That's my oppressor, and I'm the oppressed. That's why I'm taking to the streets, baby.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Jarvis, are you gonna protest on Jarvis?
Yeah, he's coming.
I'm coming.
Well, he hasn't brought back my power washer yet.
It's ready for you. I'll bring it back.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you for the next 30 minutes or so, and each of us still coming from our homes. Joining us on the air and in video, by the way. We should tell you that we're continuing to record these shows, and then you can see a rebroadcast if you head to LouisvilleAnswers.com. Hopefully that works, LouisvilleAnswers.com. So I'm Bob Sokoler. You can reach me anytime at 376-5483. Also with us, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They hire veterans. They're the #1 home team inspection service in the country. We love them for all of that. And you can reach Brad and his team anytime at 357-0813. Also here, Lee Harris, who is legal counsel over at Limestone Title and Escrow. And she, in fact, does answer the number I'm going to give you because it is her cell phone, 649-7964. And in addition to that, in for vacationing Randy Rocky. He's got the morning off over at Swan Financial. Steve Phillips joins us, and you can reach anyone over at Swan by calling 645-0736. And in for Kevin Dissler, who also has the morning off, we've got Kelly Human over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys, 895-9900. The one person absent this morning as well, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Chuck, as we understand, is preparing for a doubleheader birthday party, which he's going to have more chocolate cake. So,
Ooh.
all right. So this has
Chocolate
been, he's a big chocolate cake fan. We know that already. If you've joined us after the show,
He makes a good chocolate cake.
yeah. So this was a very difficult week for a lot of us. Not only has COVID-19 continued to stay in the headlines, we also have the unrest that's going on not only in Louisville and throughout the rest of the country and supported in much of the part of the world. Our job here is not to review, discuss, or give any ideas of what's right, what's wrong, though we sympathize with everybody. And let us just say we hope everybody works this out and we're a better community around the Louisville and around the country for whatever and however this works out, because certainly no one is happy with what's happened in the country. So, and I'm not talking about the unrest. I'm talking about the reason that this whole thing started, and you know what I'm saying. All right, let's start with where we are right now. There's some really good news for anybody who is thinking about buying or selling a home. Let's start and just again open. Oh, I forgot to mention my son Greg. I'm sorry, Greg. He does our marketing.
I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, I got you.
And Brad, me, everyone's here.
Yeah, no, I forgot you. That was the only thing. Sorry about that. My son Greg does our marketing pictures and so much more. So feel free to jump in, because with stay-at-home owners starting to finally lift throughout many parts of the country, though we're seeing this come back in some areas, data indicates home buyers are jumping back into the market. After families put their plans on hold, finally some good news is happening here. Let us start with mortgage applications. Steve Phillips over at Swan. We understand, so April, we saw a sizable drop in new home applications. Basically, it was a lot of refi. Now, 5 weeks consecutive increase is what we're seeing the numbers around the country. How's it going for us here in Louisville?
Exactly in that same method. We still see a week over week increase to our purchase applications increasing. Rates are still holding very well, and looks to be that we will see these rates continuing, not just through the rest of this year, but as well even further into next year, based upon how the parameters are presently. So high 2, low 3 rates should be the norm for quite a while.
We should point out that is for a 30-year fixed and with good credit. Certainly, credit has an impact. Your credit score. I just
texted Randy. I know he's off, but I just texted him and said, "Hey, should I lock in for my the home getting ready to purchase? I know they're steady, but I just
yeah,
you never know.
They go up and down." Some more good news. According to Google Trends, they score search terms online. Real estate increased from 68 points, however that's measured, during the week of March 15th to 92 points this past week, which has indicated that there are a lot of potential home buyers looking for homes or finding homes. Brad Lawler is the next step in the chain after they get pre-approved. Hopefully at Swan they go out and they find a house, hopefully with one of our 20-plus agents at the Sokoler team at Remax Properties East. They got to do a home inspection. At least we suggest you do. Brad, how are things week over week for a home team?
Yeah, so we have seen the 7th week of increases. This was the biggest week over week increase that we've seen, with a 16% jump. And now granted, the week before was Memorial Day, but the phones are ringing off the hook. Inspections are booking out a little bit farther. Now, home team does have more capacity, more teams available than a lot of the other inspectors out there. So we're still getting to everything within about 48 hours. But I'm hearing from other agents and other inspection companies that they're even a week or more out already. So definitely real estate spring has arrived, and it's getting very busy, almost back to 2019 levels.
Yeah, we're hearing that, and there is some concern, though, because this past week, the numbers of homes that were on the market in the Louisville and southern Indiana area were way down. Typically, we're looking at 30 in Louisville, for example, 3,000 to 3,500 this time of the year. We were down at about 2,250 at one point this past week, which is a problem because if sellers aren't putting homes on the market, the market's going to slow down or stop.
But is that, Bob, is that more indicative of more homes being sold right now with inventory drying up and just a slow trickle? Because I know, look at my face. I'm still trying. I've had so many listing appointments the past week and a half. We've definitely seen an uptick in listings, but homes on the market is there. We need to look at the correlation between how many homes are actually being sold right now versus, and everybody's saying all the numbers are up. That would indicate that's where we're just still too slow to get on the market. We need more.
We're churning the homes over in certain price ranges and locations. If you're in the 100 to, I would say $250,000 to $300,000 price range, you're going to sell very quick. But you start getting up in the higher price ranges, and things are slowing down. So a lot of the homes that we're talking about when we say there's 2,250 homes on the market, a good percentage of those are in the higher price ranges. Both locally and nationally, the weekly housing inventory showed continued tightening. New listings declined actually 28% compared with a year ago. So we are down year to year in the number of listings that are coming on the market. Total listings dropped to 20% year over year, a faster rate than in prior weeks over this past week or so, leaving very few homes available for sale. This is a problem not only here locally, but around the country. So the question is for sellers, what will it take for you to first put your house on the market and take a chance that a house that you're going to love, adore, and dream of is coming on the market? It's still a challenge as the spring moves to summer. Then many listings we're hoping are coming on the market. And as Greg just pointed out, if we could be the bearer of great news for you potential sellers, the number of homes that we're putting on the market has increased substantially over the past month. Greg, explain what your schedule is.
Literally within the past 2 weeks, I've had a major uptick where we definitely saw the slowdown from COVID, and then we saw a little break, and we kind of knew it was coming. So I cleared my schedule, and it's been full. I've been up doing 2 or 3 a day, editing, refreshing, keep going, putting them up. But maybe these numbers that Bob is saying are so recent and so reactionary to what's going on in present day. We mentioned on the protests around the country, and so I think we got out of COVID, and now we're into this, and everyone's like, okay, well. The buyers are still there. We know that, but the sellers are still not sure.
So we're still seeing these closings. So let's go to Lee Harris first with regards to we're at Limestone. Any potential problems that you're seeing in the way of closings that have occurred at Limestone?
No, we actually have been very steady, very busy. Again, I think I mentioned last week that of course. Probate has been the only thing that's been hanging people up because the courts were closed. The courts opened up last week on June 1st. And so people could now, if they want to proceed, if they have an estate they need to sell, they can go ahead and file that paperwork and probably get a hearing date in the next, I'd say it's going to be August, but at least get on the docket and then those estate sales can also start moving. But that's really been the only thing that's been hanging people up is just the courts being closed.
Got it. Kelly Human over at Pitt and Frank, what's the latest on your end? Any problems that you're seeing?
Not so much problems, but I would say I'm always curious about the data and how we, calculate these numbers in terms of closings versus contract, under contract, contingent, plus with pending inspections or pending repairs or pending appraisals, when those numbers are calculated in terms of when the homes are being removed from the market. I just think that that's kind of an interesting distinction because I feel like with the low inventory, sellers have the ability to be very negotiable and be very, stalwart in how much they want to, acquiesce to buyers' requests and things. And so, sometimes that can change whether or not something officially gets to the closing table. However, it was technically pending or, potentially removed from the market per se for a certain period of time. And I think that's always driven by inventory and numbers in addition to, contracts and actual closings.
You bring up a really good point in that what we're seeing is that when a buyer finds a house and it goes through inspections, Brad, let's say, goes through with his team, and they find multiple problems. I think buyers right now are less likely to ask for everything in the kitchen sink because it was so difficult to find that house to begin with that they don't want to run the risk of, I mean, they may ask, but the sellers we've seen are just saying no, or we will do this and not that. Which again, for you as sellers who are listening or potential sellers, this really does speak to you that this may be the perfect time. By the way, my dogs sound like they're acting up this morning, so just understand if you hear them in the background, Chloe and JJ. But back to the point here is that it's very possible that putting your home on the market now not only will get you more money, but it will also bring you fewer requested repairs when it comes time to a repair request. So Kelly, I think you're right on target there.
No.
Lee, you had something?
Oh, I was just going to say the one complaint that I'm getting from agents out there is that, you know, their buyers are having a hard time finding homes. So it would be a really good time if you're a seller to get your house on the market, because buyers are out there looking and they're in 6, 9, 12 offer, you know, multiple offer situations. And one of those is going to get it, but the other 5, 8, 11 aren't going to get it. So they're still looking. So
absolutely. And Steve, I'm sure you can attest to this as well. You know, the rates are still really low. It's a great time to buy. You know, it's a great time to be a seller because of the inventory, but at the same time, it's a great time to buy. It's a good time to commit to a mortgage, you know?
So Steve,
with the lower rates.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second. When you're doing financing, are you seeing more people come in? Because as I mentioned, the higher priced homes are sitting on the market longer. Do you concur with what we're saying, that the lower priced homes are where you're seeing mortgage applications come in, or is it a different scenario for you?
No. I mean, we're right in line with everything you guys are saying in regards to the applications that we're seeing coming in are under the $400,000 range most of the time. We're just not seeing that higher end range, and that higher end range, even with the lenders, still hasn't moved as much as it could or should in regards to what we've been seeing with some of our other rates finally coming back down from the influx back in February, March. So with the lower rates right now, what that does do is it just gives the buyers more buying power. They're going to get a bigger home for a smaller monthly payment. And that's exactly what lower interest rates means.
And I will go one step further. What we're seeing is that there are a lot of sellers who are seeing that the higher priced homes are sitting longer. And so they're willing to take a little bit more of a haircut on the price of their home to get moving. Maybe they're downsizing, maybe they're moving to another part of the country to retire, whatever it might be.
But it's also, it's also a double-edged sword though, with sellers waiting and on the fence, because where are you going to go if there's no inventory to move to? So, you know, that's where new construction and your locale and how the cities can grow, I think, is a major effect on where sellers can think about it. You can sell your house, like we're moving, we're building. There's nowhere, you know, we're not going to find what we want. Right. We know that inventory is scarce, so we've got to go another route.
We're seeing a lot of that as well. New
Yeah.
construction, lots, construction loans, you know, purchases of spec homes, you know, things like that are just fresh, that aren't sitting inventory, you know, existing inventory. We're seeing a lot of that. And it's wonderful to see the cities growing in that way, you know, which always ebbs and flows based on market, you know, and availability of current inventory, you know, but buyers are like, hey, let's go out, let's build it. If we can't find it, let's build it. And the builders are out there, you know, ready to go. So that's a nice boom, you know, as well.
We're going to take a break. Let me have all of you put your thinking caps on. When we come back, here's the challenge. This is going to be helpful for both buyers, sellers, and agents who are listening. What I want to do is go over tips to help buyers get the home of their dreams. I know Greg and I have some suggestions we're going to share because I think it's important for us to share, but see what all of you have in the way of ideas. Incidentally, if you want to see what buyers and sellers are saying about us, our Sokoler team, go to LouisvilleZillow.com. That's LouisvilleZillow.com. And if you want to see what people are saying, head to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. We're recording the show for rebroadcast on YouTube, and we have an easy way to get there. Go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. Joining us tonight from their homes, well, it's this morning, but joining us from their homes, we've got Steve Phillips in for Randy Rocky, who's over at Swan Financial, 645-0736. Also, Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, 649-7964. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, at 357-0813. And in for Kevin Dissler, Kelly Human, who does a great job as well, not only on the air, but as the closing attorney over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys at 895-9900. We are missing Chuck Crosby tonight, who's over at the Crosby Law Offices. Well, we're missing him this morning over at the Crosby Law Offices because he's got a birthday party today. And you can reach Chuck anytime at 499-6360. And, of course, my son, Greg, who does a great job with our marketing and our photography. And if you're thinking about selling, just another shameless plug for me, we really do need homes. We keep selling homes. We're putting them on the market and we're selling them. Call me at 376-5483. And we also have 20 agents, buyer agents, who can get you out there and find the home of your dream. We'll take a break. Be back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you for next, 10 minutes or so here in the studio. Well, I say studio, in my home and from their homes. We've got great people who are continuing to keep it going in the real estate industry here in Louisville and Southern Indiana. We've got Lee Harris, Legal Counsel, Limestone Title at 649-7964. Also, we've got Kelly Human, who's in for Kevin Dissler over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys, 895-9900. Over at Home Team Inspection Service, Brad Lawler coming from his home. And you can reach Brad and Home Team at 357-0813. And let's see, who did I miss? I got Steve Phillips over at Swan Financial, 645-0736. My son, Greg, who does our marketing photography. And then, who else?
So much.
We're missing Chuck, but
Chuck's off this morning because he's got a birthday party. And you can reach Chuck at 499-6360. And, of course, you can reach me because we really are desperately looking for homes to list and sell, 376-5483. That is my personal number. We're recording this. You can see a rebroadcast of it, LouisvilleAnswers.com. And if you're thinking about selling, we have a free obligation, no obligation, free of charge booklet that you can really just email me and I'll send it to you, bob@WeSellLouisville.com, and put selling tips in the subject line. Before we went to a break, I had a challenge for everybody. So buyers are listening to us. Sellers who will become buyers, either here or in some other part of the country, are thinking, okay, how can I get the home of my dream? Does anybody want to start with suggestions that you've seen to help capture a home, or do you want us to start? Raise a hand or flag me if you want to start. Anybody? Go for it, Lee. Lee Harris, okay. Limestone.
I have two. Some people like them, some people don't. One is if you have a buyer who really wants a home and you can tell that it's a hot property, it's going to be multiple offers, I would suggest an escalation clause.
With a cap?
With a cap, absolutely. Or if you see a property and somebody else gets it first and they get under contract, I would suggest a backup contract because, it could fall through due to financing if that person gets furloughed or whatnot in this market. At least they have a foot in the door, mm-hmm. and they could perhaps be second in line, and then they can go look for something else at the same time. But a lot of people don't like backup contracts, but I've seen a lot of people getting becoming first place under that.
Yep, absolutely. And Greg, why don't you explain what a escalation clause with a cap is for those who don't know?
Well, then it's pretty simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. If you have multiple offers, you can say, okay, I'm going to offer X amount of dollars over the best contract that you have up to X amount of dollars. Some agents don't really know. They get over confused with the complications of it. And sometimes in this market, it doesn't even matter because terms are so good. And I know, Lee, when the market first started really having inventory issues, this is something that we saw coming really heavy about 3 years ago, now everyone in the market's using it. But now, there's so many more tactics, and one of them that we love to do, and he just so happens to be sitting on this call as well, is getting your inspection set up is another great way to have your offer come through and you already have inspection dates set up. The agent on the other end knows you're serious. Obviously, you can write a letter, all those things. We've talked about all that stuff before. I don't want to steal. I've got tons of them, so we'll let everybody else.
Right, but let's go back to the one about let's setting up with inspections.
Yeah.
So, Brad, typically, are you getting calls from agents who say, "Look, I'm putting an offer in. When's the soonest that you can inspect so I can put that in the offer?"
Well, I can always expect those calls from the Sokoler team agents. No questions.
Good.
Other agents.
But we just won one the other. Casey just got one. She's the queen of that, and she calls. And
it was a beautiful home. Beautiful home. Was up there for that one. But I think some agents will do that. Here's what I'd say. I want everybody to have their dream home. I really don't want them to walk into a nightmare. It's self-serving, but I think every buyer should get a home inspected, whether it's Home Team or any other inspector. We had three clients call this week, all at the direction of their agent, telling them, no, cancel the home inspection. It's a competitive situation. You can't do it. You're buying the house as is. Even if they're buying the house as is, they still need to understand, what expenses they might need. We saw this a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, same type of market dynamics. And a lot of people called us after they moved into their homes saying, we didn't get a home inspection, but now we need to really figure out what's going on so we can create a punch list of projects you have to get done. So, that's whether it's Home Team or any inspector, just call them in advance, call them early, get on their schedule. It's a critical part of the process.
I'm shocked.
You're so right. From a legal perspective, Lee, you're dead on. I mean, the reality is it's competitive. You can have backup plans in place, but you don't have to make your offer contingent on the inspection. You can still have an inspection. You still need to know what you're walking into. Even if you want to go through with it regardless, at least you're going through with it with educated, inspection. That's important.
And I'm actually shocked that you had 3 people call because their agent said hold. So Kelly and Lee, is there language that you would suggest to agents to put into a contract that says, and let me tell you I want to find the legal side of this, but here's the gist of it. So home is being sold in as-is condition. The buyer will not request any repairs unless they exceed, and then put the number in there, 5,000 or 8,000 or 10,000. Is there anything that would make that more of a legal binding statement?
I mean, putting a cap on anything makes it more attractive from an offer acceptance perspective. But at the end of the day, from a legal protection perspective, inspection's always a great idea. It's always the right thing to do in terms of just knowing what you're walking into. Even if you're going to buy it as is, regardless, you need to know, hey, got to look at a new roof this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it doesn't have to be contingent, but it can still be part of your process.
But
those tree roots are going through that pipe.
Well,
and the water is leaking. I should have maybe want to know that.
But we're grassroots. We love local, farm to table. I don't want
Did you do that on my table. Grassroots? Was that on purpose?
No. So wait, I think what it also speaks to in this is how, I want to say, desperate that some buyers are to have that home that they'll give up that protection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure, but you can do as is. You can be competitive and still have an inspection for your own knowledge.
So competitive and informed.
We talked about, Greg briefly mentioned, writing a letter to the seller, talking about the home, the tradition that this seller has with the house, and how the buyer will continue the tradition. We also talked about an escalation clause with a cap. The only problem is, of course, we still have to hit the appraiser to approve it, which takes us back to Steve Phillips. So, Steve, are you seeing many home appraisals come in where the contract price is higher than the appraiser says that the home is worth?
Yeah, we just had one recently, which is kind of a weird situation, but it came in $30,000 higher than the purchase price.
Oh.
And the lender ordered a desk review because they didn't understand how it happened. So the lender was even a little surprised about this. But overall, we're not seeing, personally, I'm not seeing too many that are coming in under value. Right now, it seems like even with everything going on, we're still seeing the values hitting. So either the agents are really knowing their markets and getting the values priced correctly, or the appraisers are just, being good with the appraisal and the contracts.
They're understanding what the value is of that individual home. Well, let me end, because we've got only about 2 minutes left, but let me just end with a suggestion to all of the agents who are listening to us and to the buyers. One of the things you could do, if by chance you put an offer in that's much higher than the list price because you want that home, and then let us just say that an appraisal comes in. Now, if you're dealing with an FHA or VA loan, forget this strategy because this won't help. But in the event with a conventional loan, it comes in lower than what the contract price is, consider going to a second lender or another investor within the same organization and have another appraisal go out there, because it's a roll of the dice of $400, but it may be the difference of you walking away or getting the home of your dreams. Anybody want to comment on that? Is that a good?
No, you're right. I mean, we've seen that before. We go as far as to tell a lot of our sellers, and then another pro tip, write a list of updates. Leave it on the counter for the appraiser to see. Sometimes they miss things.
With a cost.
A lot of times they miss things. So you can put the cost of everything that you've done, even if it's something as simple as putting in LED lights, put it all in there, and let them know. And that gives them something to adjust against their formula sheets, and it can help. So, little things like that. And again, if it's not going to a secondary appraiser, there's a lot of things you can do.
We are out of time, though. That was the voice of my son, Greg Sokoler, who does our marketing and photography. You also thanking Steve Phillips for joining us over at Swan Financial, 6450736. Lee Harris, legal counsel, Limestone Title and Escrow, 649-7964. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. Kelly Human over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys does a great job as well, 895-9900. And we wish Chuck Crosby was here, but we know he's having a party today, and he's going to have some cake, and we know he loves his cake.
Chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake.
Yeah, chocolate cake.
You can reach him at 499-6360. And you can reach me anytime, folks, 376-5483. Again, we are desperately looking for homes to list, and we've got 20 buyer agents ready to help. Have a great week. We hope it's a safe week in so many ways. We'll see you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. Okay, gang, so now this is the post-banter part of our show. And certainly, that was a good show. I think we could have gone a lot longer on suggestions. But
I've always said we could do an hour-long show and see, especially now,
I've never been accused of having too few opinions.
Or yeah, no, that's true. Listen, that's actually really good. There's a new, by the way, next week we're going to tackle the cost. What is the least expensive state if you're going to move somewhere for homes?
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wyoming.
Nope.
Iowa.
I was thinking Iowa myself.
Oh, jinx.
Nope. No.
I'm
You want
going
to know?
Kansas. Yeah, what is it?
Kansas?
This is like Kansas, yeah.
Louisiana.
So according to Zillow, that did a survey,
Bama.
the West Virginia remains the cheapest state with a median home value.
Hey, we're licensed there.
Obvious.
We got you. Hidden
What
Frank's
happened?
licensed in West Virginia.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, John Denver. Whoop.
One of my favorite states to drive through, though, by the way. I love West Virginia. Is awesome.
Beautiful.
I'm a Pennsylvania girl. I feel like West Virginia is my
Oh, yeah, that's all that
state.
Steelers. It's all that Steelers cup.
I tried to turn now it's just gold. Black and yellow.
Oh, there you go.
Black and yellow. Black and...
So what about the most expensive state to live?
California.
New York.
Hawaii.
I'll take Connecticut. Alex.
Anybody else? Connecticut. For
200.
Anybody want to take a guess?
Doing continental, I'm going to think Hawaii.
Hawaii is right.
Ooh.
That is correct. Yeah.
Steve, geez, you blew it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
What's number 2?
I don't have that in this survey. Hey, what is,
California.
Survey
just
says.
out of curiosity, what is
It was a tie between whatever we all said. It was a tie.
what is the time of being home and with
How long? How many days?
No. What time are we supposed to be indoors? And
Oh, the curfew.
Curfew
what's the
time?
curfew time?
I don't know. Is it?
I thought it was.
Changes.
I thought it was
6 or
9. Did
8
they
o'clock.
back it off to 8? Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was 8. Yeah.
I'm outside
I'm
of
thinking 8
Jefferson
for some
County,
reason as well.
so I'm like,
Is it
I'm
only in
gonna
Jefferson
party.
County?
You can party in the streets all night.
Go outside and go crazy.
no kidding. If I weren't like turned into a pumpkin at 10:30, maybe.
I never turned into the fun guy. Wait, hang on. Wait, There we go. Never turn it. There we go. Right
You're
there.
always the fun guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're batting
Yeah,
a
the cool
thousand.
No matter what time of day.
I'm super punny, you guys.
Starts at
Super punny.
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
9 o'clock. Okay.
9 to 6:30 in the morning.
Well, good. I don't have to go to work before 6:30 then.
9 to 6.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
According to the mayor.
Slave driver over there.
What's the penalty for being over curfew?
Citation. I've heard of people getting pulled over and getting a
Depends
citation.
on who. Honestly, and I know I'm going to back off this statement, but I got to say it depends on who you are right now. So.
Well, that's
saying.
always
and,
true.
And where you are. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Had this conversation. I'm not going to name names with somebody who is close to law enforcement. And you believe it or not, they're not happy with the way the mayor is basically putting them in the line of fire. And we're not on 840 WHS radio, so I'm not having to violate any political affiliation.
No, but you're still being recorded.
No, this is real. No, but this is real. This is real, and I have to say that the mayor and Andy Brashear are both they're both the ones. Andy Brashear called in the National Guard, okay, and then and I'm talking to people who are in the know here that are in the police department. The mayor sent them over to 26th Street and started the whole kerfuffle that was happening a couple nights ago. That another city beloved man lost his life. So it is serious, and I'm emotional about it because it's very sad, and we're bringing kids up in this, and there's a lot of tension, and a lot of people are splitting sides, and tough conversations have to be had. So
It's real.
It's real, and it's not something us as privileged white people that have money need to look in the mirror and honestly. Like really just reassess everything that we've been taught and know, and how redlining and systemic racism has created a lot of the issues that we are looking at in front of us. And instead of blaming the people who are oppressed, you look at the people who are causing it. So
all right,
that's my piece. Thank you.
All right. So next week, Lee and Steve, if you'll let Randy know, and I'll send out an email. We'll try doing just our two back, and then we'll flip it around.
My tiny violin.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
That's right.
miss seeing you guys so much.
Well,
Me
maybe
too.
get Kevin to let you come. You're invited anytime, Kel.
Hey, this is I'm just the pinch hitter, Brad. What
it's,
do? I only have one bat. I just do what I can.
Well, it's called Zoom bombing, Kelly. You've got you have the meeting code, so you just drop in.
Jump in. You're always
what
welcome.
time it starts, and just jump in. And
oh, you know what?
have something to say.
But you know what we didn't discuss. So do we need to move the time from 8 to back to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon? How does that stand for any? Does anybody feel better with that?
That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Just let me know the time. I mean, I don't think I have anything next Wednesday afternoon, so.
All right, I'll put that out. We'll set it back to say 3 o'clock. We'll just do the 3 o'clock. So, does that work for you, Greg? Because I know you got to schedule.
Yeah. It's easier for me because I usually got to help put the kids down.
Yeah,
so,
I understand. Okay, all right. And Steve, let Randy know that as well, and we'll go from there. All right, gang.
Okay, sure.
Have a great week. I will see you.
Thank you.
Most of you next week or the week after or the week after. All righty.
The week after.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good.
Take care.
Still have-
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.